Okay, this is the electric service panel, the main load center, if you will. And this is a little late in the game, but this is part of this is actually going to be the HVAC condensing unit video. But all the same, it's 200 amps. The air conditioning is 50 amps. That's properly rated according to the labeling. Now this handwriting is insufficient. It's supposed to be printed like this, where it says Cutler hammer. Alright, it's supposed to be printed. Where it says danger, it's supposed to be printed. Handwriting does not meet the manufacturer's nor the code's requirements. Now this particular manufacturer also wants duplicity, and we do not have duplicity here. So it should be like, one AC compressor. Two other things about this panel, and then we'll continue on. Is one, we got an open knockout. Not good. Got open knockouts, and we're missing one of our panel screws. Just one, two of our panel screws. But that's not why we're here. Watch your step. It's flag stuff. That was the northeast. The structure faces north. That was the northeast corner of the garage where the electric service panel was. This is the condensing unit for the air conditioning system. Okay, this unit is not level. Okay, this unit is supposed to have 3 inches of clearance, and it doesn't. 3 inches of clearance, 3 inches off of the ground. That's what it's supposed to have. This is telling us, it's advertising, that it's got a 16 SEER. A 16 SEER right here is what it's advertising. This is the manufacturer's service label, which I hope you got a better image than the still image you're going to get. And that label tells us that this unit that this is 16 SEER. It tells us that the refrigerant in this unit is a 1410A. That's the good stuff. It tells us that this is a 5-ton unit for this house. It tells us that it was manufactured in 2011. Okay, this equipment, which makes it 10 years old, this equipment is engineered on paper to last 20 years. It might last 35 years. I had one that did last 35 years. No fault of mine. It was old when I bought it. But Las Vegas is going to give you 14 years. That's about how long they last. So this is the electric service disconnect. They're not supposed to be behind the unit like this. They're supposed to be at least 3 feet away from the unit. We have insufficient service access to this guy. This is the dead front cover plate for it. We'll put that back, and we're looking in here, and we're learning that the wiring is correct. We also see that it's been sealed on 3 sides, and that's also correct. So, hey, we've got some good stuff going on. We do. Can we put that back? No, I want to take a still image of it. I will put it back though. This is the refrigerant lines come into the system. It's been sealed up real good. This is the wrong kind of foam. See that? It's the wrong kind of foam. It's supposed to be a hard, smooth foam. And we come down here, dig around a little bit. There's your Schrader valve cap. Look that up in the dictionary. Your refrigerant service access valve ports covers. Those are supposed to be anti-theft. It's supposed to have anti-theft Schrader valve caps. And we're supposed to have a foam on the low pressure refrigerant piping that meets current energy requirements. Now, this unit was manufactured in 2011. I don't know when it was installed exactly. It's 10 years, I get that. The foam, that's 2015. The Schrader valve caps, that's 2015. Now, that's a safety issue because kids can, huff refrigerant or whatever. That's an energy consideration right there. So it will make the report. It will be deficient. But those two things, what do we learn is the Schrader valve caps and the foam, at least in this case, we haven't seen all the foam. We haven't been in the crawl space. We haven't been at the indoor air handler. But outside, you know, we know that this foam wasn't required. We learned that it wasn't installed high enough above grade. We learned that the unit is not level, so the oil inside the refrigerant, when the unit's off as it is now, sitting idle, the oil migrates to the bottom of the compressor, and it's not level. So when the compressor starts back up, it's not lubricated evenly. It might go like that for a while. It might go like that for 4 more years. We could do that. Might not. I don't know whether it was installed perfectly. It might not. We've got dirty coils. This unit is too close to the wall. Should be about 12 inches, just a couple inches too close to the wall. This is your primary drain line. Primary drain line right here. When this home was built in the 1950s, this house is like 1 year older than me, unfortunately. For me, cool for the house. But anyway, that's perfectly acceptable for the refrigerant piping, the primary drain line, to come into a well on the side of the house like this. If this is new construction, and it's not, but if it were new construction, it would most likely go inside the plumbing. This is not a violation whatsoever. This is your secondary drain line right here, in case you have an emergency from the primary, because they get clogged. Then when you see water coming out from that, you know that you have a problem, and then you call the technician. Now, speaking of problems, this is not in an obvious location. This piping should have been located over a window. Take your pick, any window, you know, take your pick. But that it's not supposed to be behind a window. It's not supposed to be out of view. So it's supposed to be readily visible, and it's not. So we learned that our secondary drain line is not readily visible. We learned that our disconnect is located behind the unit. We learned that the unit's not level and doesn't have enough clearance on the back side of it, and the coils are dirty. We learned that it was properly fused earlier in the video. We also learned that the foam around the refrigerant piping could be better, and we learned that the caps could be better as well. We also learned, actually it's 10 years old, we learned that it's got the cool refrigerant. We learned that it's got the cool SEER rating. So it's got some good things going.